Okay. So you have the notes on the characteristics of verbs. We know that a mood, like the subjunctive, the indicative, the infinitive, and the imperative, moods tell me the relationship between the verb and reality, whether I'm presenting the verb as real in the indicative, or I'm presenting the verb as something that's not real, but I'm trying to make it real with the imperative, or I'm presenting it as something subjective, something that exists inside somebody's mental perspective, and that's what the subjunctive is for. Okay? We're going to leave the imperative to the side for these notes because it's pretty obvious when you need the imperative. If you've been working with that long enough, you know it's how you give commands, and those sentences don't look anything like other sentences. They're frequently just the verb, nothing else. Yeah? But to pick between the indicative, the subjunctive, and the infinitive is a little more difficult, but not much. There are really just three questions. We're going to arrange them as a flowchart with a yes-no sort of tree. Does that make sense? Okay. Pour choisir entre l'indicatif, le subjonctif et l'infinitif, il faut répondre à plusieurs questions. Apparently I can't control it from here. Voilà. Woo! Première question. Est-ce qu'il y a deux verbes? Très simple. Très simple. Est-ce qu'il y a deux verbes? Oui. Whichever brings you joy.
English. Is there two verbs?
Are there two verbs? If you want to put it in correct English. Y a-t-il deux verbes?
Yes.
Oui. Si la réponse est non, ça veut dire que vous avez un verbe dans la phrase. Vous utilisez l'indicatif. This is not new. Kind of have already mastered this part. If you've only got one verb in a sentence, it's going to be the indicative. 9 times out of 10, or 9.5 times out of 10. Because that's where we do most of our communication. We deal in reality much more often in a language than we deal in abstracts and hypotheticals because it's reality that actually has an effect on you. Oui. It's not a tense, but what you think of as the present that you learned in French 1 and French 2 is the present indicative. Right. So that's the present indicative. Right. It's not the same as the present though because there's also the present subjunctive and the present imperative, although there's no future or past imperative, so I don't know why we right. Présent de l'indicatif. But this could also be the passé composé or the futur simple, or all of those are indicative as well. Because when I say j'ai mangé, I ate, I'm still presenting it like reality. It just happens to be already done. Oui? Okay. C'est bon? Only one verb, most of the time you use the indicative. Quand il n'y a qu'un verbe dans une phrase, on utilise normalement l'indicatif. Pour la plupart, un verbe à l'indicatif est nécessaire pour introduire un verbe au subjonctif ou à l'infinitif. Not only do we normally deal in the indicative because that's normally how we live life, but also, if you want to use a verb in the subjunctive or the infinitive, you usually need an indicative verb to set it up. We'll see that in a moment. Par exemple, elle danse. C'est une phrase avec un verbe au présent de l'indicatif. Bon? Question, commentaire ou remarque sarcastique jusqu'ici? Non. Il fait plus chaud à l'extérieur qu'à l'intérieur. Ah. On continue? Because it was noisy and it seems to be making the room hotter. No? You like it? You want it back?
No, it's comfortable right now.
I don't know what you people want from me. Si la réponse, oh gosh, la réponse est oui. Il y a deux verbes. Avec une petite étoile qui dit quand il y a plus que deux verbes, traitez-les en paires. When there are more than two verbs, take them in pairs. For example, if we just say verb A, B, C, day. Please don't have a sentence with 5 verbs in it. Nobody will like you. But if you come across it, the answer is still yes. The question is, are there 2 verbs? There are 2 verbs, and then 3 other. What I want you to do in these cases, hopefully there won't be 5, but if you have 3 or 4, look at them in pairs. So there's one pair of verbs. Here's another pair of verbs. Here. Here's another pair of verbs. And here's another pair of verbs. Does that make sense? You'll see with the next questions. Yeah? But if you have more than 2, just treat them in pairs. And you really only have to worry about the ones that touch. So A and B is a pair, B and C is a pair, but A and C are not a pair. Yeah? Oui? Okay. Je continue. Ah. Just joking. Pardon, problème technique. C'est pas vraiment un problème technique, c'est un problème avec le professeur. Si la réponse est oui, vous continuez. Vous posez la prochaine question. So, are there 2 verbs? If the answer is yes, you ask the next question. Est-ce que le premier verbe est à l'indicatif et il présente un perspectif mental? Is that first verb in the indicative? That part is really just in as a check. You've got 2 verbs. The first one's going to be in the indicative. If it's not, you made a bad life choice somewhere, back up, try again. The real question here is, does that first verb set up some sort of mental perspective? And you have already in your notes on the characteristics of verbs, and on the back of the sheet with the irregular subjunctive, you have those categories that we consider mental perspective. Remember what they are? À votre suite. À votre jour. Pardon? Wishes, hopes. We call that la volonté, will. Oui, et. Wishes, hopes, dreams, we put them together. Amour. Hypotheticals actually has own mood in French. That's what we're doing next. Yes. We might be focused on the wrong part here. Opinion. Oui, les opinions. Les obligations, because the French are still holding on to the French Revolution, and to them, obligations are the same as opinions. Like, you must breathe to live. They'll be like, whoa, I'm free. You don't tell me what to do, okay? Bon. Doubts. So that's why I made a face of whoever says belief. The opposite. Not believing would take this grounds. And I'm missing something. Emotions.
So like
I am happy that whatever, or we. Yeah? All that stuff that happens inside your brain. We're all aware that emotions actually happen in the brain, not in the heart. Yeah? Okay. Just making sure. Somebody tried to fight me on that a couple years ago. Emotions are a mental perspective. Boom. just fast. No, sorry, just cardio. No. If the answer is no, so if I've got 2 verbs, but the first verb doesn't set up a mental perspective, I use the indicative. Easy. Par exemple, elle danse parce qu'elle est danseuse. J'ai 2 verbes. Elle danse, elle est. 2 verbes. Mais je n'ai pas de perspective mentale. Bien. Ou bien dans la deuxième, elle danse et elle chante aussi. Oui.
So when you have the 2 verbs and they're both in the indicative, is this applying to the second verb that you'd like use the indicative on?
Right. So the first one's going to be in the indicative
No matter what.
because you usually need the indicative to set up the subjunctive or the infinitive.
So it's mainly just talking about the second one.
Right. So we're looking at the second one. Oui.
Yeah, so it's a mental perspective, is the first verb or the second verb?
Is the first verb setting up a mental perspective? And then that helps us make a decision about how we write the second verb. Oui? Yeah? It's a little more complicated when it's kind of floating. We'll bring it down to make it concrete in a second. Good so far? You'll notice that the other thing in these examples you'll notice is conjunctions. Most of the time if you have two verbs and there's no mental perspective in them, you have to have some sort of conjunction. Oui? That's just kind of an aside. Ok, mais si la réponse est oui, vous continuez avec la dernière question. Est-ce qu'il y a deux sujets? And you might want to add to that, are there two different subjects? You've got the same subject twice, you can probably get out of it a little bit easier. But if there are two different subjects, si la réponse est no, vous utilisez l'infinitif for the deuxième verbe. So by that point, we've got two verbs. We've got a mental perspective in the first verb, but we only have one subject. We use the infinitive for the second one. Like this. Elle aime danser. Two verbs. Aimer, danser. Mental perspective, aimer is an emotion, also kind of an opinion. Got it. Love it. But only one subject, elle. So because we've got two verbs, a mental perspective, but only one subject, you use the infinitive for the second verb. This is not new. You've been doing it for a long time, you just didn't know why. The little notes here, who's doing the aiming? Elle. Who's doing the danser-ing? Also elle. So you could think of it as one subject, or you could think of it as one subject repeated. Yeah? Which makes the second one unnecessary, so we just use the infinitive. Oui.
Wait, but isn't she not like dancing? It's like not like
She's not necessarily right now dancing. But we're not talking about her liking someone else dancing. We're talking about her liking when she's dancing. Yes?
But she's not like the subject, because if she was the subject, but then not say what you're feeling.
So yes. Yes. What I'm hesitating on here, elle aime danser, you're right. The infinitive works without a subject because it kind of absorbs the subject from the other. Yeah? I want to avoid the situation where you say elle aime que elle danse. She likes that she dances, because that's not a wrong sentence. It's just way more complicated than it needs to be. Et si la réponse est oui, vous pouvez utiliser le subjonctif. Bien. Si vous avez deux verbes, un perspectif mental dans le premier verbe et deux sujets différents, vous utilisez le subjonctif pour le deuxième verbe. Par exemple, elle aime qu'il danse. Deux verbes, perspective mentale, deux sujets différents, c'est le subjonctif. Bien, pour résumer, pour utiliser le subjonctif, il faut avoir dans la phrase. This is the same information, just if you want it as a checklist rather than a flowchart. Here you go. If you want to use the subjunctive, you need three things. Deux verbes différents, un verbe qui présente un perspective mentale, et deux sujets différents. Same information, different format. Arranged horizontally instead of vertically. That's it. Yeah? Okay.